It's time for a bean road trip. We're headed from Fargo, North Dakota through Minnesota to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and we'll be sharing some tips of how to eat beans along the way. Of course, we wanted to start our road trip off strong, and everyone says that breakfast is the most important meal, which leads me to an important tip. Don't miss out on beans for breakfast. A great way to start the day? Chickpeas on toast.
Hummus is a great option. Get it as a spread on toast, bagels, whatever. Here on this rye bread, this kind of lemony, really savory, delicious hummus is perfect, super satisfying breakfast.
Right after breakfast, we had to hop on the road, which leads me to my next tip. Turn this into a beanie adventure. Stop at some grocery stores along the way and see what bean products they have. It's fun, because they could have very different products from what you have at home.
We're a couple hours into our road trip from Fargo to Alexandria, Minnesota. We see an Aldi, and clearly it is time to go get some bean snacks.
As we're browsing all the delightful bean options, I can't help it. I have to share a fun fact about beans in Minnesota while we're here.
We're in Aldi in Minnesota, and so of course I want to show you the kidney beans because Minnesota is known for beautiful and delicious kidney beans.
As you can see, this store had quite the selection of dry beans, canned beans, chickpea pastas, hummus, lots of good stuff, including
some bean soup mix and refried beans, which are always great if you can pick them up and have them with crackers or something.
Looking at all these beans is bound to work up an appetite. So my next tip is stop and get beans along the way. And it doesn't have to be at a fancy restaurant that breaks the bank. We picked up some beans from Taco John's, and then, because we like to explore as much as possible along the way, found a gorgeous park to head to eat these beans.
Refried beans from Taco John's, enjoyed at a nice park along the way, and always still hungry after that, so an extra can of beans for beans on beans.
It was a long drive, and we woke up the next day ready to start our adventures in Wisconsin. And you can't start adventures without fueling with beans first.
So today's tip is to wear a bean sweatshirt and always make sure you have a can opener because then you can bring your own beans and start the day off right.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I really do travel with a can opener and usually eat a can of beans for breakfast. But of course, I also want beans for lunch, and Chipotle can be a great place to do this. So here's my tip if you're going to Chipotle. You don't have to choose. You can get both black and pinto beans. But eating out for every meal can get expensive really fast. So I'd highly recommend going to the grocery store and seeing what bean options they have. There are lots of great sections to check, like the deli or pre-made section, the snack section, the canned bean section, and the list goes on. Here are some of the many beanie finds we had in Wisconsin grocery stores.
So literally, as soon as we walk in, here are some easy bean dishes to go. Little bean salad with black beans, and 2 bean dips with refried beans. In addition to refrigerated bean dips, there are also shelf-stable ones, which are nice to bring with you places. Refrigerate them after you open them, of course. But you don't have to stop at just a bean dip. You can also enjoy bean chips. And look at the crackers, because for instance, you may not expect it, but these both have red bean in them. If you have hot water, here's, for instance, a black bean soup. Just add hot water. Or, look down here. These are beans that are pre-seasoned. You can just have them out of the pouch. You can heat them up, but you don't have to. Another great option if you have a microwave is something like this. So these ones have lots of legumes. There are other brands too, but look for ones you can just heat up and enjoy some legumes right away. Something I also love seeing is that now in tuna, there's often beans mixed in. So here are a few different options. There are also canned ones. We're in the canned bean section, and as you can see, there are a lot of options and they're really affordable. So if you can bring your own can opener, great, because sometimes they have the pop top, but not always.
So many options, and these were just a few. But ultimately, what we decided to get for lunch was...
For our beanie lunch today, we have come to a beautiful forest, and we have black bean chips, hummus with carrots, and a bean and rice mix with tuna.
We were also doing a lot of hiking while we were here, which means we were hungry, and we didn't want to miss the chance to try a local classic.
We are in Wisconsin, which means of course we have to come to Culver's, and they have chili, which has beans, so let's eat some beans.
Now, at this point, you may be wondering, wow, is all they did on this road trip eat beans? And the answer is pretty much yes. So let's check out some bean finds in a couple other local grocery stores, shall we?
This store is awesome. It has tons of roasted chickpea snacks and roasted broad bean snacks, more chickpeas, some edamame, and even some lentils. Loving it.
They had other tasty snacks too, like navy bean puffs and chickpea puffs. And a wide assortment of other bean goodies.
If you have a can opener, in addition to in the refrigerator section, oftentimes there's a 3 or 4 bean salad. And you can also get a jarred one. So if you don't have a can opener with you, something like this is easy if you don't finish it all refrigerated after. Another option, if you don't have a can opener, are bags like this. So pretty much just tear and eat. Another potentially easy snack is, this may sound silly, but these baby food pouches. If we're all being honest with ourselves, we like to eat them sometimes, right? It's that nice puree. This one has chickpeas, this one has white beans.
Now I'm sure you're dying to know. So here were our purchases from the first grocery store.
Salad that we are going to top with delicious butter beans and, I'm struggling to hold everything, roasted edamame. Let's have a legume party.
This type of beans and greens meal is one of our favorites while on the road. And because the canned beans already have a sauce, you don't even really need a dressing. So, another tip. Enjoy a beans and greens party. Get the beans, get the greens, and then spice it up with whatever local ingredients you can find.
Wisconsin is obviously famous for dairy, so we are at a place where they make cheese curds. I got some dill pickle cheese curds, lettuce, and butter beans. So we're gonna make an awesome salad.
And you've already heard me mention hummus a few times, so this probably won't come as a surprise, but whenever we see new flavors of hummus, we love to try them.
We were really curious about the black bean hummus and went with that, and we figured what better to enjoy with it than black bean chips. Let's do this.
And whoever said that hummus and bean chips couldn't be a great breakfast? After all, part of the fun of the road trip is switching it up from your normal routine a bit. Which meant that our last breakfast on the road ended up being quite the black bean party.
Okay, so here's that black bean hummus we got with this spicy corn topping, black bean chip, and super good. Black bean tasting continues. So another black bean dip, another black bean chip, and also very tasty.
It was time to head home, but of course, we couldn't miss out on also enjoying beans in the airport. And that's the last tip I have for you. Enjoy the bean party all the way to the very end. I enjoyed a lovely airport snack before going through security, and then we found some chickpeas for dinner.
In the airport, ready to head home, and we're about to have a chickpea party. So falafel wrap, so hummus and falafels, and just in case, extra hummus, went with garlic flavor.
Thanks so much for joining along for our bean road trip. Please subscribe for more bean adventures and share in the comments what bean goodness you like to enjoy when on the road or at home.